everyone. My name is Jennifer Kumar, and welcome to the Immigrant Entrepreneurs Forum. Before we meet our panel and discuss some of the experiences of the immigrant entrepreneurs in Rochester, New York, I'd like to introduce myself, my co-planner, and also talk a little bit about why we're here today. So my name is Jennifer Kumar. I'm originally from upstate New York. I've been living in India for 5 years. This is my second time living in India. And actually, what I do there is I run a business where I help people in India to communicate more effectively in business environments with people in the U.S. So recently, we were actually working with small business owners and entrepreneurs in India that wanted to start business connections in the U.S., how to actually do that process. Sales trainings, how to negotiate with Americans, all that kind of stuff, cross-cultural training. So I thought, it would actually be interesting to look at the other side, people who are actually already in the U.S. from other countries. What are they experiencing when actually doing business and living full-time in the U.S., unlike the people from India who maybe only come to the U.S. for maybe a few months out of a year if they're lucky. So that's a little bit about me and why we're here today, and I'd like to also welcome the panelists real quick before I introduce my co-planner. Dr. Nilesh Patel, Mr. Nabil Albusaad, and Raj Singh. Raj is short. Yeah. A short form of his long name. So I think I'll just turn it over to my co-planner for a moment to come up and introduce himself. I think it's important because he also put a lot of effort into today's event, and he's behind the scenes, behind the camera. He's going to come up and say hi.
Hi everyone, my name is Veras Mondo. I run a marketing agency, and I'm so privileged to work with Dr. Nilesh Patel and Rajwinder Singh in their entrepreneurial journey. And I'm so excited to work with Jennifer on her mission to educate my fellow Indians to do a better business with American community. I'm so excited. I hope you will pick up a lot of information from this session, and I wish you good luck to you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Joe, for coming up and introducing yourself. That was very, very nice, very good introduction, and I think that pumps us up for our panel discussion. So again, welcome panelists. And I think we can jump right into the first question, which is an apt question to also introduce yourself. So I'd like you to spend just maybe 2 or 3 minutes to tell us your name, where you're from, how long you've been in the U.S., and a little bit about your work here. So we'll start with Raj on the far right.
Hi, I came to U.S. in 2000 with my family. My elder brother was already here, and I started cooking and love cooking since I'm 11. So we settled I started working in a restaurant in Buffalo first. And 2007, we opened a restaurant in Rochester called Tandoor of India. And me and my brother opened second location in Fairport in 2014. Both are running successfully right now.
Thank you for the introduction, Raj. Really awesome. Glad to have you today. And Nabil, would you like to introduce yourself and a little bit about your work here?
Hi everyone, my name is Nabil Albusaad. I come here as a refugee with my family before 2 years. I hope to start my business, and my business like the technical solution, and I hope to open it here.
Great. So thank you so much for being here, Nabil. And we also hope through this experience that will give you more motivation to get up and running.
Sure.
And we're eager to learn more about your work today, and Dr. Nilesh is last but not least.
So hi, my name is Nilesh Patel. I came to this country when I was 12 years old. At first it was quite difficult for me, but then I learned ways in the culture of U.S., did well, and ended up going to pharmacy school, and went to Northwestern Medical School. And then I thought that I needed to make money without me being there. So took a business course at Simon Business School, and voila, it woke up my business interest. And then I started a couple of ventures, built a hotel from ground up, was involved in long-term care pharmacy, as well as most recent venture is we built a Golden Corral in Rochester, New York.
Great. We're eager to hear more about that too. I hope to come to your restaurant too very soon. I've been to Raj's restaurant, very good food, Indian food. And also I think I'm gonna change up the order of the questions slightly by that segue. So Indian food is obviously a little exotic to Americans, Raj. So what were some of the ways you were able to introduce your American customers to Indian food?
To introduce to American customers, so I have to learn their culture and how to relay my food to the yesterday I was telling about the gulab jamuns, so I have to let kids know about the donut and syrup. It's only different in that, or sometimes we let them know as a pancake with syrup already.
Right.
So that's how we let people to try. That is our dream to everybody in Rochester to try Indian food. So they should experience Indian food more often, and that's how we let people to try it.
That's a great initiative, and definitely I'm on board with you. I love Indian food all kinds. As a segue into kind of maybe the next question would be, as Raj mentioned, when doing a business in the U.S., there are some ways that people from other countries have to relate to Americans that may be different than how they relate to people in their own country. So how would you say owning or running a business or interacting with customers or doing your work is different in the U.S.? I know each of you have a different approach, a different type of work that you're doing. How do you think that work or interaction is different or similar to what you might experience if you were in your home country? I think I'll start with Nabil.
Yeah, I think when anybody want to start any business, it's difficult, especially when the cultural is different, because he want to learn the new cultures and what they need, the customer what they need, and how can talking with him, how can work with him, and I think this is very important to start any business.
And I think in your case, Nabil, like you are more working more with inventions, and maybe you're not running like a hotel or a restaurant. So from the side of doing inventions, how do you think that's different? Or is it different than if you were doing that in your country?
I think with my field work it's different because I didn't see a lot of people like the restaurant or other business. So I can see a few people and the front people who can understand what I make from the ideas. So it's different customers also.
Exactly. I mean, obviously, when you're more of an inventor, you're behind the scenes, and you're not really interacting with the local people so much. So maybe learning the culture takes more time, or understanding the process takes more time. Whereas Roger, Nilesh, who's obviously been here for quite a long time, has quite a different experience. So I'll move it to Nilesh. So would you like to share? I know you've been in the U.S. For a long time, longer than the other panelists.
Yeah, so my experience, obviously I have not started a business in a different country, but I know people who have, and from what I have learned from them is the main thing is about the regulations. And I understand in the US you have to follow the regulation versus if you're in India or some other countries, they may not have a lot of regulations. They may be able to start their business from nothing and right away. Maybe they have some briberies involved or whatever. Versus in this country, you have to follow labor laws. You have to follow the Food and Drug Administration's regulations. the health department, and so on.
Yes.
It's very streamlined, but you have to follow it. Versus in
Yes.
other countries, it may not be streamlined, but it may be difficult in other ways, such as
Yes.
bribery or knowing the right people to start your business.
Yes, on one hand in the US it could be easy because there is a process and it's outlined and it's similar for everybody. But if we don't go by the process, then you can't get started. Whereas I know since being in India, I could actually start a business in kind of out of order from the American context. Like in the US, usually you always need a business plan. Of course, they suggest to have one in India, but it wasn't required, at least for what I do, just enough so that I could get started. So there definitely, even that's a regulation, to have that plan really outlined and really detailed, where that might not be necessary in other countries. And Raj, how about yourself? How do you think running a restaurant is different in the US than India, or interacting with customers, or any aspect of your work?
I strongly believe you can do, if I have this restaurant in India, I will run few problems. It's like my restaurant is technology and power supply. In my area, like in Punjab, we get not enough power supply or even to industry or any other business. So that will be my first concern. Like, but if other than that, the restaurant business is customer-based business. So if you're dealing with your customer directly and getting your customers same service level here or in India or any other country, your customer will be back to you all the time. So other than couple issues, but that will be doable in India or here also.
Great, good feedback. And actually, I think we covered all the questions in the first part by all your answers there. They're all combined together. Do you have any, do any of the panelists have any other feedback about the cultural difference you might find, or any uniqueness about doing your work here? Nabil, I know you're more of making inventions and everything. How do you think the process of creating inventions or getting your inventions out to the public might be different here in the U.S.?
Yeah, I think in U.S. is different, but I believe it's more easy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that. Because, you know, in the other countries, they didn't accept any new things, different things. But here, I think they accept that.
That's a good point. I mean, that's one of the, I mean, I think people in the U.S. are more open to risk and trying new things. I mean, of course, it's dependent on the economy
Yeah,
sometimes,
sure.
but
That's giving big hope for us.
yes, that's good. I see a big smile on your face. I'm happy about that.